I would like to take this time to thank you so very much for bringing me in to be a part of your district. I appreciate the opportunity, and I hope that I'm able to provide something of sustenance for you in the future. As we think about moving and propelling our district forward, I want to focus on bringing in a writing instructional plan for the county. As we go, as I look and I've looked at the gathered data, the one thing that I note is that you guys are making incredible strides in your math and your reading. However, when I also look at some of the observational data, the one thing that continues to concern me is that administrators, on-site coordinators have noticed that there is a lack of writing in our classrooms. And I feel that this is a huge, huge deficit in this county that I would like to address with my instructional plan that I would like to share with you this evening. The focus that we are going to have during this time will be on writing in this district. When we go out and we start talking about our partnerships, because we cannot forget that we have partnerships in this community. We have our community college, and we also have our local college. And when we look at those partnerships, some of the things that they bring to our attention is the fact that we have a lot of students that leave our district and go to these colleges, and they have to be in developmental English classes. They can't even start the curriculum when they graduate. They have to go into a pre-curriculum class. So we need to start the dialogue now about how to bring our classes up to par so that when we graduate our students, they go straight into the curriculum. And we don't have to waste time, energy, and monies on bringing them up to par, which is something we should have done. We also can't lose focus of the fact that our students in just a few short months will be having to take those Common Core assessments. And those Common Core assessments are grounded in constructed responses. Now when we look and you say, well, why a Writing to Learn or why a Write to Learn initiative for our secondary ELA, why are we looking at that? Well, if we look at the research clearly says that writing will aid retention, it increases the depth of knowledge of a subject, it develops critical thinking skills, promotes independent thinking, engages all students, increases metacognitive thinking skills, it prepares students for those constructive responses from those Common Core assessments, and most importantly, it will help us address our college and career readiness goals by preparing students to write effectively in the college setting. So when we look at this writing initiative, this writing instructional plan that I'm putting before you, it is very broad-based, but it has very clear-cut goals of where we're headed. We want to make sure that we take our students from secondary schooling straight into college schooling, and we want to make sure they are prepared for that. So here's what we did. How are we going to support this initiative? What are we going to do? Here's my proposal. I think that what we should do is we're going to assemble our leadership team. We're going to assemble a secondary leadership team of teachers, core teachers that are designated by their principals as leaders in the school, leaders in the district. With that, we're taking that leadership and we're taking it to another level. We're going to bring them in. They're going to be tasked with finding effective writing strategies. Those writing strategies we're going to push out. The team has identified the following: writing across the curriculum, self-regulated strategy development model, teacher modeling, student discourse, use of multiple pre-writing strategies or graphic organizers, and teacher-student feedback and peer-to-peer feedback. When that leadership team met, these were the core principles of what they want embedded in these schools and across our district. Well, why writing across the curriculum? What does the research say? The research says that writing is a complex process. It is ongoing, it's recursive, and writing is critical thinking. What do we require in all of our classes? All of this. So why not a writing across the curriculum embedded in all of our classes? Science classes, math classes. Everyone will be writing in our districts. Next, we're going to talk about a self-regulated strategy development model that is focused on creating writers who can self-regulate. When we bring this model in, teachers, students, they will self-regulate themselves. They'll have strategies in place. They will have a clear-cut, defined way of writing when they leave our schools. Next, we're embedding in teacher modeling. Sure, this is a concept, this is research proven, this is a concept that's been around for a long time. Bandura first proposed it and said this was a way for teachers to teach. Stand up, model something. However, when you look across the district, you look at our observational data, we go into these classrooms, teachers aren't modeling. If they are modeling, a lot of them are doing it ineffectively. What we have to do is bring in the effectiveness piece, show them how to do that, and make it happen. Next, student discourse. When we talk about student discourse, we talk about critical thinking happening. You cannot have student discourse and writing. The two go hand in hand. If you look at some of our research, discourse is more than classroom talk. It is a complex interaction between teachers, students, and these individuals' unique perspectives manifested in verbal communications. Writing is a social act. Talking is part of the process. To leave out student discourse would be to leave out writing effectively. And the two go hand in hand. So we have to show our teachers how to effectively communicate with their students, how to have that rich, critical thinking discourse going on. Next, we have to talk about pre-writing strategies. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, you're thinking back to your time in school, and you're thinking, what a simple strategy, and we're going to waste money on providing a simple strategy that everyone should know. Research shows that teachers do not know how to incorporate consistent pre-writing strategies. If I go into teacher A's classroom, their idea of pre-writing strategies looks entirely different than teacher B. That inconsistency is costing us student achievement. Next, we're moving into feedback. Again, another simple concept. Every teacher can give feedback. Unfortunately, if you look at the data, that feedback simply consists of, good job. I think you could do better. Will you give me an explanation? Teachers have to realize that feedback involves goal-oriented and actionable feedback. And if we look at what Hattie and Tipperley say, they say that when feedback is combined with effective instruction in classrooms, it can be very powerful in enhancing learning. We have to teach our teachers how to give effective feedback so that students know how to move forward in their thinking, in their writing, in their reading. I want to start talking about, I've told you now what our leadership team came up with as far as strategies. But now I want to move forward, and I want to talk to you about what this looks like at the district level. So what I want to talk about first is phase one. What I want to talk about is phase one, which is introduction of the plan. So what does this look like? Here's what we've done. We are planning on taking, we've got these strategies out there now. We want to take 50 teachers from across our district, and they're going to participate in 5 full days of professional development, talking about these strategies and how to embed these strategies in the classroom. 5 full days. The district is taking on that monetary cost. We're going to foot the bill for this. These teachers are going to be chosen by their principals because of their leadership skills, and we're going to ask them, once they participate, their job is to go back into the classroom, back into their school setting, and have the discussions in departmental meetings and PLCs. We're starting a grassroots movement with this, with the teachers having the power and the control and making sure that they're communicating that. Our goal is to build momentum and discussion. Now phase 2, we've got 6 months out of the way. Phase 1 is up and running. Now I want to talk to you about phase 2. Phase 2, we're hitting at about the 6-month, 1.5 year mark. And this is what's happening now. Now that we've got this momentum built, we're going to bring on an additional 60 new teachers. Here's the crux though. that 50 that we just trained, that first cohort will now train these 60. You know, if we look at our district goals, we are all about producing teacher leaders. And that's the one thing when I came and I interviewed for this position, that was the one thing that stuck out the most to me, was that you are a district that promotes teachers into leadership. And this plan is all about taking those teachers and giving them leadership. Teachers are going to be expected to continue the dialogue about these strategies when they go back into their classrooms. So we still have that dialogue going on. Now, I'm going to stop and I want to tell you a little bit about phase 3. I have it together. I want to move forward with that, but I just wanted you to kind of look at where I want it to be at the 1.5 year mark. Now, when we talk about phase 3, we're talking about additional trainings, but we're also talking about, at this time, letting go. We're talking about that gradual release of our responsibility. And then we want to, these are my guiding questions when I start looking at the fidelity piece. This is what I want to guide our evaluation of this when we go in. Are principals observing these strategies in action? Have all new teachers been brought on board and been properly trained? Are we noticing a positive change in all of our student achievement data? And are our partners noticing a drop in the number of developmental writing classes that they offer? Now, I've offered you a very robust and well thought out plan. Hopefully, you will see that this is rich. Every strategy we're talking about is rich in what we need in our classrooms, the critical thinking, the writing. It's very rich in all of those things. And most importantly, we're creating ownership and leadership in our district. I want to thank you for your time tonight, and hopefully I've given you just a small piece of where I envision our district going. In 5 years, I would love for the impacts of this instructional plan to be so keenly felt that people are modeled, that we are a model for districts that surround us. Thank you so much again for the opportunity. I'm excited about the prospect of working with everyone, and I can't wait to get started. Thank you so very much.